everyone! So, this week we are going to learn about US politics through documentaries. I'm not going to interview anyone, but gonna review a documentary I recently watched. It's called Knock Down the House. And you probably noticed that I'm speaking in English instead of Vietnamese like my other clips. Well, there are several reasons for that. First, I try to aim at young Vietnamese who want to learn English at the same time about the world around them. In this case, America, the number one destination for higher education for Vietnamese students. Second, I haven't lived in a country where English is the native language for so long. So this is a way for me to practice English. Thanks to Sheree, I learned that from her. I also process my thoughts much faster in English. So before we go into the films, here's a few things. I know everyone had been paying attention to the US presidential election in November this year because it's the most exciting one, right? Well, however, if you don't know this, November 3rd, there will be two more elections that are just as important. One for the Senate and the other is for the House. And they both belong to the US Congress, okay? This movie is focused on the congressional election in 2018. This movie is about electoral process. How did someone become a candidate? How did he or she get elected? How did people vote? What was the process of voting and announcing the results? I watched it. It was a pretty introductory film about US politics, regardless of your political affiliations. It's about four women running for office in 2018. They're not career politicians, and we are going to learn about how they got elected or didn't get elected. One more thing. If you want to watch it first before hearing me ranting about it, you can find the link below in the description box, or I might put it up here. Yeah, here. And it's free, it's on YouTube. So then you can come back here and watch my review and leave some comments, or you can just watch my reviews. Your choice. Okay, let's start.
For women, it involves so many decisions about how you're going to present yourself to the world.
So this documentary is about four female candidates in four different states running for a seat in the House of Representatives and one for the Senate. One of them is Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, or people often call her AOC, running for New York's 14th Congressional District. Amy Vilela, running for Nevada's 4th Congressional District. Cori Bush, running for Missouri's 1st Congressional District. And Paula Swearengin, how do I pronounce?
Swearengin.
Running for the US Senate in West Virginia, okay? And they all were running in Democratic primaries. So what does that mean? So there are two major parties in America, right? Republicans and Democrats. So they all have representatives in different districts, and then they compete for, which one of the candidates gonna represent that district. So before that to happen, within the party themselves, they might have their own race. It's called primary election. These four women, they are running within their own Democratic primary election, trying to defeat the other Democratic candidates. And to put in some context, I think at that time, the Republicans have the majority of the House and the Senate. They were having the advantage. Meanwhile, the Democrats were the ones that actually have to do something about it to win back the House and the Senate. So these four women, their campaigns were revolutionary in a way because they challenged the big guys in their own party. Take AOC, for example. So you can see AOC was a waitress, a bartender at a restaurant before and while she was running for office.
If I was like a normal, rational person, I would have dropped out of this race a long time ago.
This is like so America in a way, in a sense that anyone can run for office. Imagine this happening in Vietnam, right? And you might look down on her thinking, well, if she's just a bartender or waitress, she probably lacks the educational background and management experience required to be politicians. Well, she actually went to Boston University and had 2 majors in political science and economics, and she also works as an activist as well. And you will soon know why she works as a bartender if you actually watch the documentary. And by the way, AOC was 29 so 2 years older than me, when she ran for office in 2018. Anyway, who was her opponent?
That's Congressman Joe Crowley, chairman of the County Democratic Committee, and also the chairman of the House Democratic Caucus, making him the fourth most powerful Democrat in Congress.
He was the big guy, literally. He had been the district representative for 14 years. That means people probably have seen his name or his face for at least 14 years.
What I do is just talk to people all the time, just members of our community, and that is the organizing and that is the work of running a grassroots campaign.
So you probably noticed that they were basically having a meeting in someone else's house, right? Probably someone else's living room. AOC was persuading these people to vote for her, and themselves in turn to persuade others to do the same. It's pretty informal, it was cozy. This is pretty common in the US. Campaigning doesn't have to be, in a boring, poorly lit, cold meeting room. It can just start small and friendly like that. And AOC, along with 3 other candidates featured in this film, was selected by 2 grassroots groups called Justice Democrats and Brand New Congress. I didn't know about them before I watched this movie, but I thought it was so cool. Behind the candidates, there were groups that actually helped them, groom them to be real professional politicians.
Okay, so I'm taking this away from you for a second. The words don't matter so much right now as you, right? You're up there to convey your emotion and to inspire people. The words are useful in that, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is you. You look awesome. Don't worry about any of that stuff. I just want you to just focus on relaxing and breathing right now.
The idea is to provide an alternative path to Congress outside of the current one that exists.
We're looking at Democrats and Republicans to run in the midterms in 2018.
Non-career politicians, so nurses, teachers, engineers, workers.
We don't care about party. We just want to get stuff done.
And running for elections in America is expensive, man. You need money to pay for your staff, to put up the website, to print out flyers, and you need money to travel, to talk to people. So they vote for you. So it's not cheap, and you just can't do that by yourself.
Right now, our Congress is 81% men. It's mostly white men. It's mostly millionaires. It's mostly lawyers.
Well, yeah, technically anyone can run for office in America, but realistically, how many can make it? Something I learned in college about Congress is that it was dubbed as the Millionaires Club. Guys who would have money and a strong network to run a successful campaign. A millionaire or a secondary school teacher?
If we elect working people can have representation in Congress.
Well, another thing is a lack of true representation. America has a nickname. They call it a melting pot country. But the US Congress doesn't really represent that. Women make up more than 50% of the US population, but they are only occupy 24% in the Congress. And the population of non-white in America is 39%, but they were only represented by 22% in the Congress. So you end up with a bunch of white, old men making decisions for virtually everyone. That include women, people of color, even the younger generation, because guess their age average. So you see here, in order to prepare for an election, you need to start around a year ahead.
I'm nervous.
What do you say? When they say, who is it? What do you say?
And here you can see that AOC, she had no idea what to say. But usually either the candidates and their supporters would go knock on people's doors to introduce the candidates to the people. You just knock, introduce yourself, what you are advocating for, what you're gonna do for the community if you're in the office, and tell them, to vote for you.
Hello? Hi, my name's Matthew. I'm out here canvassing for a congressional candidate named Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez for the Democratic Party in 2018. I was wondering if I could talk to you for a minute.
And you can guess, a lot of time people just don't want to talk to you.
No, I'm sorry. Now is not a good time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, easy.
I know this lady had cancer. There's a person in that house that has cancer, and our leadership's not hearing us. They're in bed with industries.
Paula Jean's story a little bit different. She's a daughter of a coal miner. Her dad died because of black lung disease, which often happens to coal miners.
If another country come in here, blew up our mountains and poisoned our water, we go to war. But industry can. My daddy died early to power America. People have seen West Virginians as we don't have no teeth, no shoes, and no brains.
West Virginia people don't have teeth, shoes, and brain? I actually had to look this up. Okay, the first one is about her own quote. Okay, here. Oh wow, this is from the government.gov. That's crazy. West Virginia, the only state entirely located in Appalachia, has the highest rate of people missing 6 or more teeth and the second highest rate of complete tooth loss for people aged 65 years and older. And here's another one this is from the local newspaper, the Gazette Mail in West Virginia. Oh, my internet sucks.
Good morning. Hi, are you a voter?
Yes.
I'm running for Congress in the area. We just need to collect signatures to get on the ballot.
Yes, so anyone can run for office. In order for you to appear on the ballot, you need to prove that you have a certain number of people actually backing you up. Otherwise, a bunch of people say, I just want to run for office, and on the election day, you're going to have a long list of people. I think it helps that you can eliminate people who are not that serious. Only people who are that serious would go out and collect like 1,000-something signatures.
Who would you be running against? Joseph Crowley. No. Yes. Joe Crowley has appointed every Board of Elections judge. When you turn in your signatures to get on the ballot, any tiny little discrepancy in the signature, they toss the signature out. So even though the actual requirement is 1,250, because we're challenging the boss, we need to collect 10,000 signatures.
Did you hear what she just said? Because she ran against such a powerful guy. So that's mean, even though she only needs more than 1,000 signatures, she actually have to went out and collect 10 times of that. And so you see here, AOC actually had to stand in the cold, asking passerby to give her some signatures. And some people straight up told her they're gonna vote for her opponent anyway.
I'm gonna stick with Crowley, Kathy.
Okay. I'm gonna sign anyway.
I'm with Crowley's supporter. Oh, okay, no worries. One of my problems when I'm trying to be polite to someone, I feel like my voice goes up 2 octaves.
Yeah, higher tones, I get that. I totally get that. Some researchers have found out that lower pitch voice is considered more attractive and trustworthy, and who usually and naturally have lower pitch voice. Men, of course. I used to have really high pitch voice, but I had to really practice to tone it down a little bit because no one would take me seriously if I sound like a chipmunk.
This is my niece.
She's gonna be the next.
She's gonna get it after me.
Oh yeah. Okay, thank you.
I think it's kind of cool that you introduce younger member of your family into politics and understand what it's like running for office.
You got it, Brooke. For every 10 rejections, you get 1 acceptance, and that's how you win everything.
So after gathering enough signatures, what they gotta do next was to check the legitimacy of those signatures.
Basically what we're doing, we're going through all of these names, making sure that everything is legible.
This stuff seems like a whole lot of stupid work, but you'd rather sit and do this for 3 hours than for somebody to drag you through court for 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
And what they will do sometimes, if they have enough stuff to play with, they know that eventually you're going to get on the ballot, but they're going to keep you busy until the day before election.
It was very important because someone could have just faked hundreds of signatures just so they could be on the ballot. And if you don't do it, you might be in trouble for election fraud. When I was in the US, I got stopped sometimes by some campaigners and they would ask for my signatures. At first I didn't know better, so I signed them. Sorry, I hope you checked. But later I told them I wasn't a US citizen, I was an eligible voter. and they let me go. And remember that Joe Crowley appointed every single electoral judge in a district, so they might be out looking for any mistake that AOC might make. Cori's case was quite similar to AOC in a way. She was running against a really big guy in the community. He was already a black representative for the district, but she felt like not enough was done, even though this guy had been in the office for nearly a decade.
I admire your guts because it's an uphill battle. Election time come around, okay, Clay. I ain't really seen no Democrat with the guts to go up against the Clays in a long time.
Okay, so this is when it got real good. This was considered the first debate in the New York's 14th congressional district in 14 years because no one challenged Joe Crowley before. But what happened was that he wasn't even there.
He is extremely saddened he couldn't be here with us today, and it's not because he did not want to be here.
We are making excuses for absentee leadership. This is not a debate. I'm the only one running for Congress in this room.
Maybe he didn't take AOC seriously. Maybe he didn't take his constituents seriously. And of course, his surrogate. She couldn't possibly answer all the questions on his behalf.
Say about U.S. role towards Israel, Palestine, and moving the embassy and settlements.
Yes.
No, this is a regular question.
Regular
It's a regular question.
Oh,
1 minute.
I believe that the congressman supports that position.
That's it.
And it got even better. The people were pissed. If Crowley watched this at home, seeing AOC answering TV station interviews and talking to his constituents, he probably wished he was there. She even tried to speak Arabic.
Salam alaikum, Eid Mubarak, Amar Nam Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez.
You know, in such a melting pot country like America, if you can speak other languages, like you already have an advantage of winning their hearts over. If Donald Trump say Xin Chào, that would make people go crazy. It just shows that you care enough about the community to even try to speak their own language.
We're not going to accept any more money from the hospital, the insurance companies, and pharma, and we can have the people behind the party again.
I don't even know what a Marxist is. Commie and socialist and a piece of shit. And, you know, I look like I'm Russian, go back to my country in Mexico.
Yes, many people who were advocating for universal health care, you know, what Canada has, Germany. But in America, if you're advocating for universal health care, you automatically a Marxist, a communist, pretty much.
For help, we are a completely grassroots powered movement.
It's definitely going to be a close.
Oh yeah, so this is another way of campaigning. You call people. You might not have enough human resources or even time to walk to everyone's house. They might not be at home. They might not want to talk to you, so you can call them. This is like advertising, right? Yeah. This is political advertising in a way. You advertise about your candidate. But the only thing you need in return is their vote and maybe their financial support.
You know, even $50 would be absolutely amazing.
Really not in a position to go much further, I'm afraid. I hate to take your time.
Thank you so much. And what can I put you guys down for?
Okay, we would donate $100.
Thank you so much, guys.
This is a really daunting part of campaigning. She didn't take the PAC money, special interest groups, which is big company, big corporation, the hospital, the insurance, the pharmacists. So she has to ask money from other people. So my guess is that she is probably calling people who already told her that they support her. I realize that a lot of time being politician is just begging for money from people. There's a reason why she didn't want to take big corporates' money, and it has something to do with her late daughter.
It's not just our family, it's 30,000 families a year.
A lot of people in America were very frustrated with the current healthcare system in America. The number 33,000 people died because the lack of health insurance. I actually looked it up. I found this link also from the government. It quotes a research that said 26,000 people in 2008 died because they didn't have insurance. But I haven't found any new information on that. Well, some of you might ask, like, why don't you just buy an insurance already? You know, I did ask the exact same thing to one of my friends in college, and he said he couldn't afford it. You know, later I found out his family wasn't very well off. The lowest premium, insurance premium you could possibly get in America is roughly around $150 a month. And just have $150 deducted from your bank every month is just too much for some people, especially people who live paycheck to paycheck. $150 can help you buy 30 burgers. Many poor people, in order to eat, they opt out on insurance.
We're clearing this area out. Ain't nobody been out here for a couple of years, so we can have this event out here.
I think it's kind of cool that Paula Jean cleared out an abandoned house to create an event space for her campaign. I think she had like 10 people. Gotta give her credits for staying so strong.
But this is the difference between an organizer and a strategist. What am I trying to get people to do? Two things. I want them to know my name, and I want them to know that they need to vote. This is how a strategist does it. Where's the primary date on this? First, pull this out of your mailbox. Taking on Donald Trump in Washington.
Oh, this part is so good. She really made a distinction between her and Joe Crowley. I think it said more about organizer and strategist, though. And she wanted people to go out and vote, remember her name, and remember the day to vote, and why they should vote for her. Meanwhile, he wanted people to believe that he's here. Now, with his big face, everything was already fine with him in the office, and he really played into the biggest fear and disdain of his community by mentioning Trump a lot, which basically said that his main policy was anti-Trump.
Trump 3 times, commitments 0 times.
We got women, unions, criminal justice, under 25, over 55.
I think those were her ads for her Facebook page. Her boyfriend was saying that she had advertisement for young voters, Obama supporters, and in different languages, even in Bengali. And she's live streaming on Instagram. This is how you campaign in the era of technology, guys. You updating your social media accounts daily, interacting with your supporters, announcing your event. AOC is really active on Twitter, which is considered a virtual battlefield for US politics.
Who's willing to lead an event and have a...
This reminds me of the early day when she were talking to like around dozens of people in someone else's living room. And then a few months later, she was talking to probably a town hall with 100 people listening to her. Hey, that dog even wore a t-shirt. But still, no one would actually believe that she would win. Because back then, AOC identified herself as a socialist, which to some Americans, it basically means a communist. Her policy were more aligned with the Democrats, so she ran for office within that party primary. And also because, you know, the prospect of a third party running and winning in America is just ludicrous.
Not all Democrats are the same. And in a district that is overwhelmingly working class, we deserve a working class champion.
It's great to see you, and thanks for participating this evening as well. I think
we are getting to another good part. Yes, another debate. This time, Joe Crowley was there.
Where this government is separating children from their mothers. It is antithetical to everything that I believe in, and that's what I fight for every day.
And you know what? If this organization is as fascist as you have called it,
I've said it's fascist.
Then why don't you adopt the stance to eliminate it? This is a moral problem.
This is an absolute murder. You can watch the whole debate on YouTube. I'll put the link up here.
Hope back to West Virginia and vote for Paula Jean Swearengin today. Vote for Paula Jean Swearengin today. It's primary day.
I think it really shows you who the real boss is. She was calling them to trust her, pay her with the tax money so she could serve them. A real example of what it means public servant.
We're showing 50,000 ahead of you.
So Paula Jean's Senate run happened first on May 8th, 2018. and she lost. The next election is for Amy Vilela on June 12, but she also lost Nevada. And then Cori Bush, she's a big contender, but she's also lost on August 7. There was only one person left, AOC. AOC actually have another debate with Joe, a town hall debate with live audience, and Crowley was more aggressive this time.
Javier Montserrat is someone who actually cut his girlfriend's face with a broken piece of glass. My question to you is why have you sought his support? Why did you go to his club and speak at his club?
That's a lie. So I have not sought his support. You say, why are you at his club? I was at the only Latino Democratic club in East Elmhurst and Corona. That's where I was. There are teachers there. There are crosswalk guards there. And that is who I was talking to that day.
But it turned sour for him. But was that enough for AOC to defeat Joe Crowley?
Today's an election. We vote right in that corner.
Good luck. Thank you so much. Saw the video clip, but I didn't even see it all through, but the first 2 minutes convinced me to come here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh, I'm scared. I don't know if I want to go in. I'm scared.
She's so nervous.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wait, guys, wait. I got it.
Oh my god! It's me! Oh my god! Ah!
Right now. How are you feeling? Can you put it into words?
Nope. I cannot put this into words.
All right, your supporters here are very excited.
She was the only one of the 4 women featured in the film who won her election. Well, good news for the Democrats and progressive, because this year, Cori Bush and Paula might be able to join AOC in the Congress after finally won their own Democratic primaries this year, and they will face their Republican challengers in November. Like I said, yeah, it will happen on the same day with the presidential election, Donald Trump and Biden. So, what do you think after watching all of that? Do you think this kind of elections would work in your own country? What would work and what wouldn't work? Let me know in the comments, okay? And what else would you like me to talk about? Please share in the comments. And see you next time.